Hello everyone. For those people who don't know me, I know a few people in the room, but for those that don't know me, my name is Rebecca Drew. I am an enterprise account executive working for LinkedIn. My specific focus is on search and staffing, so all of my clients are recruitment companies, executive search firms. My background is recruitment, so I started out at Select Appointments many moons ago. I had two Rolodexes on my desk. One was for clients, one was for candidates, and that's how I basically used to recruit. Then obviously the advent of the job boards and things like that, and over the last few years, before I joined LinkedIn a year ago, I was finding that I was actually kind of personally relying a bit more on LinkedIn to actually kind of be able to find some people for my clients and obviously be able to hit the numbers. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk you through just a bit of a kind of update in terms of where LinkedIn are currently in terms of the figures, but also importantly how you guys can actually maximise and leverage LinkedIn for your own businesses. So I thought I'd also sort of, maybe sort of dispel some myths around LinkedIn. I've worked both agency side and I've worked in-house, and I don't think LinkedIn is going to be and the sort of move towards in-house recruitment is that big of a threat for you. If you think about, and we can see the data, LinkedIn does provide solutions to corporate companies so that they can obviously go out and hire people directly. But if you look at the data, those sort of people who are using that, the internal recruitment teams, the utilisation rate is nowhere near the utilisation rate that we see on the agency side. It's about sort of 20 or 30%, whereas agency is about 70 or 80%. So recruitment consultants are using our tools a lot more than the internal recruitment teams. And also, interestingly, which something which I was quite shocked about, was the fact that the click-through rate on jobs that are posted by agencies is actually higher than those posted by corporates. And that's really interesting. And we can have a discussion about that at the end after this. But is it because they write better, more kind of enticing job descriptions or whatever it may be? But like I say, I think LinkedIn, certainly for the agencies, is an ally. It's not a threat. Anyway. Our mission, so I'll just kind of start off with that. So, basically our mission is to connect the world's professionals and make them more productive and successful. That's what Reid Hoffman set out to do when he first sort of set up LinkedIn back in 2003. And how we do that, basically, we have, the sort of three things that underpin that are identity, insights, and everywhere. On the identity side of things, this is where people can basically put their professional record, their professional kind of profile, if you will. They can connect with other people who are relevant to their industry sector. They can obviously find people if they're going to a business meeting, and obviously be found as well. On the insight side of things, so with LinkedIn today, with the new influencer program that's been rolled out. Richard Branson now is the most highly followed person on LinkedIn. He's got over 1 million followers currently on LinkedIn, and people are interested in what Richard Branson's got to say. They're interested from a business perspective. Someone who has built a fantastic business about what he's got to say about business. So, like I say, we provide insights to our members so that they can be great at what they do, and everywhere. 26% of all of our traffic that comes to LinkedIn comes now via mobile. I can't, kind of think of the countless times I've been in the back of a taxi on the way to a client meeting thinking, right, okay, who am I meeting with and how am I connected to them? And, oh, he knows this person and that person. And it's like, I get there and it's almost like a warm introduction. And you start the client meeting off a lot better than perhaps if you'd gone in and just said, hi, I'm, so-and-so from this company. In terms of the numbers, so as Alan was saying, he's top 1%, so he's the top 20,000 people on LinkedIn who's currently being viewed. We've, as of January, got 200 million members on LinkedIn. So the numbers for the UK, 10 million, so 10 million people in the UK currently, which equates to about 4 out of 5 of what we call the professional workforce. Absolutely a global business, 200 kind of countries, 200 territories, and whilst we were, sort of created in the US and obviously headquartered out there, over 63% now of our members are actually outside of the US, which is great. Just some kind of details here around, the different offices that we've opened. If you are a recruitment agency that have global offices, if you're a recruitment agency that recruit in different languages or different locations around the globe, obviously we can give you local support there. You can see the different offices and the different languages that we now operate in, and just there on the map for you. So what does this mean for businesses, and obviously importantly recruitment businesses? Well, we can help our clients to basically hire. So that's hire the best talent for your own business. And, I'm out there talking to a lot of MDs and CEOs of recruitment businesses, and one of their biggest challenges is, how do I get better recruitment talent? How do I get the best recruitment talent out there? How do I bring in recruiters into my business? Because, that's where the sort of value, lies for their business, is obviously if you've got good recruiters, they're going to bring in, good fees, and, there's your business at a very kind of basic level. We're able to help our clients to market their business. And I think, certainly recruitment businesses now, I mean, even in the last year since I've been with LinkedIn, I've seen more and more companies now thinking, right, okay, how do we actually market our business out there? How do we, help people and clients and candidates come to find us rather than us always having to go and find them? And then how do you engage them? So once you've kind of got them into your talent pool, or once they're following you on LinkedIn, how do you then engage them so that they don't drop off and they continue to be engaged going forward? So just kind of focusing on those. So hire, as you know, as recruiters, the best people out there on the market are not looking for a job. I was certainly a passive candidate before I joined LinkedIn. I wasn't looking for a role. I hadn't got my CV updated or anything, but I did move jobs. With LinkedIn, if you think about it, 10 million people in the UK, there's probably about 10 to 18% of the professional workforce that are active at any one time. So obviously, with LinkedIn, you get access to both active and also passive talent for you. This is some data actually. This is Dan was mentioning about big data, and what we're able to do on the back end, because of all of the rich data that we do have within LinkedIn. This is an example for a medium-sized IT recruitment company. So they have 45 employees on LinkedIn, and in the month alone for January, their profiles were visited by over 4,000 unique members. And what that means is, if you think about it, that's over 4,000 people who are looking at your employees' profiles, and it's the #1 activity on LinkedIn. And interesting, recruiters are usually viewed about 10 times more than usual members on LinkedIn. That's per employee. That's almost 100 unique people in a month who are looking at your employees' profiles. And we can see here, by those that are actually transported from the company, the individual page, so the employee profile page, back to your company page, there's only about sort of 13-14% that are actually being converted. So that's a bit of a missed opportunity, really, because, like I say, your employees are the kind of window to your brand, really, within LinkedIn. I don't know if you can see this information here, but we're able to provide this data, for companies around, which type of companies are actually viewing your employees' profiles. So, typically we will see, other recruitment businesses, and we'll see clients, we'll see candidates who are looking at your employees' profiles. And like I say, that's it's an opportunity there for, they're looking at your employees' profiles for a reason. How can you then, transport them onto the next step of the journey with you, and become engaged, so that, they're not just going to drop off and they either come into your talent pipeline, they become a new client, or you take them on as a recruitment consultant. Just a few facts here around the the kind of the figures currently on LinkedIn. So there's over 100,000 recruiters in the UK that are currently on LinkedIn. So if you are looking for recruitment talent, it's a good place to look. Over 170,000 people are currently following Hays. They're the most followed recruitment company in the UK. That figure this time last year was 45,000. They've literally tripled their followers in the space of 1 year on LinkedIn through various different activities. And you can see here over 4,500 groups that are dedicated to recruitment best practice. And this was the thing I was talking about around kind of insights and becoming better at what you do. This is about sharing best practice and about talking about what's working really well in the industry, and that's a platform. LinkedIn can be a platform for that. What we can also do, so something that came out last year was what we call the Talent Brand Index. And what this basically does is it looks at two pieces of data. It looks at your talent brand reach, and what your talent brand reach is essentially the amount of employees that you have within your business, how many people they're connected to, etc. And then your talent brand engagement is actually how many sort of touch points happens within LinkedIn. So how engaged are people within, members within LinkedIn, so your clients, your candidates, how engaged they are with your business. And we can see here, a different benchmarking data based on various different recruitment businesses out there, and you can see how you're actually plotted against that, obviously sort of benchmarking with your peer group. As part of people attending today, what we will be doing is sending out an email. So every company who's attended will be able to get access to this data. That will be coming out within the next week. So how to market then? So it all starts with your presence on LinkedIn. So if you think about your employees' profiles, like I say, they're the first touch point. You saw there with one company, you've got 45 people, an IT recruitment company, over 4,500, or almost 4,500 unique visitors looked at their employees' profiles in 1 month. So make sure that your employees' profiles obviously are consistent, that they are, they've got photos on there, and I'll go into a bit more detail about that. But also your company page. I still talk to recruitment companies who don't have a logo on their company page. It's completely free. I don't understand why companies don't do this. You should be branding yourself within LinkedIn because, like I say, lots of people are already checking you out. As I say, your company, your employees, brand ambassadors, because if they've got profile completeness, if they've got photos, then they're going to be higher up in terms of the search rankings, and it's also going to help your business, like I say, to get your message out there. So just some practical tips to sort of take back to the recruiters within the business. Have a social media policy, which includes that they should have 100% profile completeness. Like I say, if they've got 100% profile completeness and they're going to come up further up on the searching, how do they stand out from the crowd? Not just putting you're a recruitment consultant in this particular area. Really kind of detail what it is exactly that you do. What makes you different from the competition, what you specialise in. If you're a niche within ERP, then highlight all of that information on there. Because, like I say, lots of people will already be checking you out. So how do you stand out from the crowd? Recommendations, endorsements, all of these things are going to help with credibility. Like I say, there are over 100,000 recruiters on LinkedIn in the UK. How do you differentiate yourself from the crowd? And there's various different things. If you look within tools within LinkedIn, there's lots and lots of different applications that you can add to your employees' profiles, or they can add to their to their profiles. Things like SlideShare. So if you've got a deck or a presentation that you give out to clients, make sure that's on your employees' profiles. Because like I say, the amount of people that will be checking that out, you've then given them some more information, you've given them some content which is relevant, and they're interested in, and that could take them on the next step to the journey. So your company page, as I was saying, is your company page branded? Appoint a dedicated person. You will have an administrator for your company page. You can have multiple, administrators if you want to do that. And these are people who are able to, share information, upload content. Like I say, if you've got a company page on LinkedIn, you'll probably no doubt have some followers. Now, a lot of those may be people that actually work for your company, but a lot of them won't be. The stats show us that, and we did some research and a survey, that 80% of the people who are following your company because they're interested in the jobs that you're recruiting for. And lots of companies don't even give any kind of updates or messages to these people. This is free marketing. Make sure you're kind of sharing news or any sort of details that you think are relevant. So then coming on to engage. So how do you sort of build that trust with clients and candidates going forward, and ensure, like I say, that they are loyal to your business and your brand? So this is an example here. This is a case study for Emerald, who are a technology recruitment business. And one of their challenges was business development in new markets. Tony was talking earlier about, how do you actually kind of get into new sort of markets, emerging markets. And what they did was they set up a LinkedIn group to basically kind of look for untapped talent in those particular regions. And this has worked really, really well for them. They've got now over 13,000 members within their group on LinkedIn. Again, this is something that, is completely free. You can set up a group, within LinkedIn. So something to consider. Moving on to Astralis Group. So Astralis Group are a fantastic business. They're a HR recruitment company, specialists within senior level HR positions. and they use in-mail best practice. So their sort of challenge was basically how do we source the top level senior HR people out there who are not looking for new opportunities at the moment. And what they've done is that coming on board as a corporate client is they've helped to find people quickly and efficiently, but reach out to them directly and been able to approach those people and get them into their talent pipeline. Some sort of information here around kind of some of the results that they've seen. Mark Napper, who's the MD of the business, is a fantastic LinkedIn fan. I mean, he's basically paid for the corporate solution within the first 6 weeks. So he had 100% ROI in the first 6 weeks, and then everything else now is just for him complete cream on top. But also, in terms of kind of time to placement, that's actually been accelerated by up to 50%. So again, if you can make placements quicker for your clients, guess who they're going to call next time they've got that opportunity? They're going to call you, because you placed them where one of your competitors didn't, and you placed them a lot quicker. And this is very interesting. So yeah, the LinkedIn APIs. So Spencer Stewart, big sort of executive search firm, have basically sent out an email to all of their database. And this is what they said. So basically, in place of the registration process, they're no longer registering candidates, or they're no longer asking candidates to keep them updated with their details, because now they can basically keep their information updated through LinkedIn. So that's one of the things that we're seeing happening in the market now. So in terms of kind of what's next and how you guys can use LinkedIn, so think about what is your high market and engage strategy. Do you have one? I mean, we're going to get an email in the next week or so. So we can help you to formulate that. We can help you by giving you some data on your business, and how share some best practice around other companies and how they're using LinkedIn. Like I say, we've got the LinkedIn Discovery, which is the free data analysis. Employees' profiles. I can't stress it enough. Make sure they have a photo on there. You are 7 times more likely to be contacted or responded to within LinkedIn if you have a photo. Not a company logo, a photo. People want to deal with people. This is a people business, recruitment. So, make sure you've got a photo on there, and make sure that the employees' profiles are complete and they're really kind of, thinking about what they do as a professional, but also what your business does as well. Get your news out there. So, like I say, company status updates. You've got people following your business. They're following your company for a reason. They're interested in what you've got to say. So give them some updates. Whether that's sharing, information that you've seen on LinkedIn today, whether that's a blog post, whatever it may be. And like I say, you can see the LinkedIn APIs at the developer.linkedin.com APIs. And that's it for me.